These are my grandparents, John and Bernice Beckley, and I wanted to know about the story of how you met and some of the history that led up to you guys meeting each other.
Hi everybody, glad to meet you, sort of, and we love Shiloh, and we're so glad to have been over here for 2 weeks in Hawaii, enjoying your great weather. Love the rain. I was born in 1926, that makes me almost 85 years old, and I had a brother and a sister, and my father was an orphan. So he was adopted by some people when he was 4 years old. They changed his name and brought him to a town in California where I grew up. My dad, even though he had to quit school in the 8th grade, he worked really hard, and he was the assistant postmaster in our town for 30 years. So he always said, "You guys are going to college." And I knew that I would work hard in school, especially since every summer we had to work in the apricot dry sheds. And I started working when I was 5 years old. My mother would give me 5 cents a tray, and the trays were really big, to put the apricots on. Later, when I was older, I could earn 25 cents a box, and if I worked really fast, I might be able to earn $2.50 a day. So I knew I wanted to go to college, and so I did. When I was out of high school, I went to college and got my teaching degree, and I taught 7th grade and some high school kids for 25 years before I retired. And so Shiloh's mom is our oldest daughter, and we have 2 other daughters, and they're all teachers. So now I'll turn this over to John to tell his story.
Hi kids, my name is John, and I was born in 1925 in a small town in Illinois, and I lived there till I was 18, and I was drafted in the service. And everybody thinks that the Army is a glamorous place to go, but I can tell you right now it wasn't. I spent about almost 3 years there. I took my training in Florida and then got shipped over to Italy, and I was with this one outfit, the 3rd Infantry Division, and I stayed with them throughout the whole war. And after the war was over, I came home, and jobs were kind of hard to find when you didn't have any job when you left home. I went straight in the service. So I went to college for 2 years. I wanted to be a farmer, but my health was not really up to it because I had asthma real bad. But that didn't deter me. I thought I could do it anyway. So I went to work on this farm in Iowa at $100 a month, and I worked there a month. And I was down in a grain bin. Affected my asthma so bad I had to quit. So I decided I would head west, and I went as far as I could go, which was San Diego. And I got there way after dark at night, didn't know where I was, stopped at a hotel, and I actually worked on this farm for $100 a month, and I had about $13 left when I got to San Diego. And I asked them how much the room was, and they said $1 a day. So I paid for a week. That left me with a little over $7. So I worked odd jobs worked in aircraft for a while. I worked in a tuna factory. I worked in a used car dealership. And then I decided it's time to move on. So I got in my little truck, and went north. And I went up to a small town called Hemet. And the best thing that happened was I moved next door to B, unbeknownst to me that she would be there. But one time she came home from teaching school and she was talking to her dad, and I happened to be out there too. So we seemed to hit it off good, and in about 6 months we got married. We had 3 nice girls, and they're all school teachers and work extremely hard. So that's about the gist of my experience. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, guys. I love you.
Love you.
Love you, Shiloh.